Welcome to Family Gamer TV News, where we look through the week in news and bring you what's important to you as family gamers. So last week, Andy went to the New York Toy Fair, as you've probably seen on some of our other videos. So we'll start there with the big Disney Infinity and Skylanders news we're used to seeing every year. Now, this year was a bit different. There were no huge announcements, but there were kind of bits and pieces of Disney Infinity and Skylander news. So we'll go through those one by one and see what you think. So there's a new toy box pack for Disney Infinity, although there's no new game. This is a Phineas and Ferb pack. It hasn't actually got Ferb in it. It's got Phineas and Agent P. So as fans of the series will know, Agent P, that's the codename of Perry the Platypus, who is obviously one of the favourite characters in the cartoon. There are also some new power discs that were on show at the Toy Fair. This is Series 3 of the power discs, and Andy got to have a look at them. There's a Rapunzel disc, which naturally boosts your character's health. If you remember from the film Tangled, that's her power. That's what her hair allows her to do. There's a fireworks cannon from Mulan. So if you've seen the Mulan film, you'll know at the end she lets off some fireworks to defeat the bad guys. And a rare disc, that is a fire extinguisher jetpack-style disc. That's from Wally. Now, as I said, there's no announcement of a new Disney Infinity game, which is quite disappointing, but there were quite a few movies and toys and things announced. So if there is going to be a new Disney Infinity game, I mean, imagine there will be, because this one has been doing really well, outselling Skylanders, as we've seen. Then these characters from these new films that were announced at the Toy Fair may well be in it. Now, moving over to Disney Infinity rivals Skylanders, we didn't get any info at the New York Toy Fair about a new Skylanders game, so no Skylanders 4 announcement. But they have said that a new game is coming and that there's going to be an announcement later this year. Now, what Andy did get to see at the New York Toy Fair is he got some hands-on time with some new figurines. So these are Wave 4 figurines like Trap Shadow and Freeze Blade. And he also got to see the Springtime Trigger Happy, which is the one we mentioned a couple of news videos ago. The Springtime characters, they come in kind of egg-shaped packaging. It's kind of like an Easter thing. Now, there was a bit of a hint of what might be coming in the next Skylanders game on the Mega Bloks stand. So that's a retailer. They had some merchandise that could be something to do with the new Skylanders game. Obviously, retailers show upcoming merchandise that they're not selling yet at the New York Toy Fair. So this could be kind of unannounced figurines for the next Skylanders. Activision wouldn't comment on the figurines, so we can't guarantee that this is true, but what we see there is there's like a golden lion type creature, a robot-like figurine, an orange figurine with a horned helmet, and a blue one with like a reptilian kind of dragon-like head. Now, the interesting thing about these figurines is that they're all holding kind of crystalline weapons, or in the case of the golden lion, a big red shield. So it might be that these are the kind of important features of the new game. So whereas Swap Force brought us swappable characters, maybe there are swappable weapons in this one, or maybe just weapons, crystal weapons that you can collect and give to your characters and they'll activate in the game, which would be pretty cool. Now, moving over to other fan favourite Minecraft, in a recent blog post, Daniel Kaplan spoke about the Pocket Edition team, who is changing the code of the game for a significant improvement that'll bring significantly bigger worlds. So this is a big deal for Pocket Edition. Obviously, the worlds are much smaller than on the PC version. They're also updating the AI, that's artificial intelligence of the creatures and things, the inventory, and kind of more stuff as well. And because this is a big deal, because it's a big update, they are dropping what they're doing on Pocket Realms at the moment. They're pausing it until later on this year to work on this update. So I think from the 1st of March, Pocket Realms is no longer going to be available. It's only in beta anyway, so not everyone is able to use it. Even those who are using it at the moment, including myself, sadly, it's going to be closed down on the 1st of March to be reopened later this year. Over on the 360 and the PS3 version of Minecraft, 4J Studios, who is in control over there, they've tweeted a new screenshot of the new UI, that's user interface, for Title Update 14, which is upcoming. In the top left corner of the screenshot, you can see a player doing a repair with an anvil, and in the top right you can see trading with a villager. Now, these trading and repairing with an anvil, these are both new features in Title Update 14 that we can look forward to that already exist in the PC version. In other news, Microsoft has lowered the retail price of the Xbox One. Now, obviously the Xbox One is much more expensive than the PlayStation 4 worldwide, and that's probably because it's bundled with the Kinect. But here in the UK, at least, we're getting a price drop of £30, so that brings it down from £429 to £399. That'll happen on the 28th of February, so if you're thinking of buying one, maybe wait a few days. Worldwide, there's also going to be a Titanfall bundle. Now, this will be the same price as an Xbox One on its own, but you'll get a free digital copy of Titanfall, which is likely to be a big seller on the Xbox One. The beta's been huge, loads of people have been playing it. You'll also get a month of gold with that bundle as well. The game is multiplayer only, so you'll need gold to play it. Rovio has announced a new Angry Birds franchise. This is Angry Birds Stella. Kind of hinted that it's more female focused. It focuses on Stella, the pink female bird of the crew. There are going to be games, cartoons, books and toys, so all sorts of things to collect. And they're going to tell stories about Stella and her friends, and according to the marketing material, her frenemies as well. The tagline is best friends forever most of the time, so you can see that it'll be about friendship and stuff like that. In a recent Nintendo Direct, Nintendo announced that in Mario Kart 8 we're going to be able to play as all 7 of Bowser's Koopaling minions. So you'll be able to race, I think, considering Mario Kart 8, I think it's 8 or 12 people in a race. You'll be able to have most people playing as Koopalings. There's also going to be a new Pokemon game, not a big game in the series, not like X and Y, but a puzzle game for 3DS called Pokemon Link Battle. So this is like a match 3 style, kind of Bejeweled-esque game, but as you match Pokemon's faces, you also collect those Pokemon and you can use them in battle, I think is how it works. So that seems like it would be a pretty cool combination of kind of puzzle and role-playing style gameplay. Speaking of Pokemon, you might have heard of this Twitch Plays Pokemon phenomenon that's going on at the moment. One Twitch user has written some code that lets thousands of people, play a game of Pokemon Red, an emulated copy of the game, at the same time. So the video on the Twitch site, that's twitch.tv/Twitch Plays Pokemon, shows the game running, and then you type in the chat down the side what you want the character in the game to do. So you type kind of start or A or B or whatever. And the code looks for appropriate commands and then it inputs them into the emulator. I think there's quite a delay, so you don't see your actions acting out on the screen as it happens, but it's still a really interesting experiment. Because so many people are typing at once, the character is kind of running in circles, opening and closing menus, accidentally throwing away items, and stuff like that. It's quite interesting to watch. It's not going very smoothly, but these players have managed to beat a few gym leaders. If you think about it, it's basically randomly generating input, so that's quite impressive. That is all for the news, so we'll move over to the charts, and as I've said before, we split these up by PEGI rating. Remember that PEGI is for how appropriate the game is, not how difficult it is. So it kind of dictates what content you can expect to see. So in the 3+ category, you've got FIFA 14 at the top. Again, typical. FIFA is going to stay there until the next one comes out. Next down is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which is a new Wii U game that came out last week. It's number 9 overall in the charts, which is not bad considering it's only come out on one platform. It's a pretty good game as well. In 7+, top is the Lego Movie video game, which is top of the charts overall for the second week in a row. It's doing really, really well. Obviously, that's on all platforms, I think, except Wii. The movie was really good. I went to see it at the weekend. The game is pretty good as well. Second in the 7+ category, tellingly, is Lego Marvel Superheroes. Lego is doing incredibly well in the charts at the moment. There are, I think, 9 Lego games in the top 40. A prize promotion at retailers like Game has helped that, but the Lego games just generally do really, really well. And then third in the 7+ category is the new Rayman Legends. That's the same version of the game, so it's the same release as the old one, except kind of beefed up to HD for the PS4 and Xbox One. So that's new, and that is third in that category. 12+, we've only got one game out of the top 40, I think, that is in the 12+ category, and that is Earth Defense Force 2025, which is also pretty new. It's quite a fun, kind of silly game, action game, shooter. But apart from that, there's nothing else in the 12+ category. Now, this highlights what I was talking about before. No one is making games for this age range. No wonder teenagers want to play games that are too mature for them. Up in the 16+ category, it looks pretty familiar. Call of Duty Ghosts is there still, of course. You've got Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13, which is pretty new. That's second there. And then third is WWE 2K14, which has edged out Fable Anniversary, which has only been out for a while, but is already slipping down the charts. And then in 18+, looks pretty much the same as it did last week, apart from a few rearrangements. You've got Battlefield 4 at the top, Grand Theft Auto 5, and Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. So fairly old games, still doing pretty well. As for games that are coming out this week, on February 28th, that's this Friday in the UK, you've got in the 7 Plus category, Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare on the Xbox One and 360. Microsoft has an exclusive here. It's a 3D co-op version of what you might be used to seeing from Plants vs Zombies. Same kind of gameplay though, pitting the plants against the zombies. 12 Plus games, Tales of Symphonia Chronicles on the PS3. This is a Japanese RPG. It's an HD remaster essentially of the PS2 and Wii games, so it's not brand new, but it's going to look pretty good on the PS3 anyway. Up to 16 Plus, you've got Thief. Now that's coming out on several platforms: PC, PS4, Xbox One, PS3 and 360. Nothing on Wii U or Wii. Now that's a reimagining of the Stealth franchise that started coming out in the late 90s, I think 1998. They've kind of reimagined the old-fashioned game, which I think was quite difficult, maybe quite hard to control for the new consoles. It's got a new story and everything as well, so it's definitely worth a look, even if you played the old ones. And then finally, in 18 Plus, Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, PC, PS3 and 360. That's a typical action game, but you do get to play as Dracula, so that's pretty cool. That's all that's coming out this week, so that's only a few games, but still better than some we've seen earlier in the year. As we move through the year, obviously we'll have more games coming out, and the charts should kind of get a bit spiced up as we see more coming out. As for now, if you've got any comments on the video or on anything I've talked about, Skylanders, Disney Infinity, any speculation there, feel free to let me know in the comments below. If you want to keep up with the news, you can subscribe, and I'll be back next week with more. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon.